Okay, we should be live. Alright, we'll be starting in about a minute. And just anyone shout if there's any audio issues, and I'll start right away. We have an exciting meetup today. We're actually super overwhelmed with all the traffic from new customers, investors, and it doesn't feel like it's been a week. It feels like it's been a month since we launched, but it's only been a week since we launched the agent's dashboard, and things have been iterating very, very quickly. So let me just make sure all the audio stuff is going, and we should be good to start. All right, guys. So we have a new enter your own API key system for subscribers and early supporters on the agent's dashboard. You can now please enter that there if you have your own GPT-4 API. In fact, if you don't have your own GPT-4 API, I'd highly recommend signing up to the GPT-4 API waitlist. And I don't think there's any real restriction. They'll eventually probably give everyone access. And then that'll allow you to run unlimited Project Atlas agents and automations without consuming cloud tasks, but it'll still consume your own OpenAI tasks. And so we also broke the target we set out last week. So last week I predicted that we would have the ability to reach, with our current growth rate, which is 40% month over month. So in March we had 5,000 users, then we launched, we got 7,000 users, then we hit 10,000 users, and then now we're at 14,000. Well, we actually broke 14,000. That was the target for the end of the month. And I think today we're probably around 15,000 users. We're growing at that rate. So it seems to be accelerating. That's really cool. You can also check out #CheatLayer on Twitter to see all the users who are using it to grow their brand on autopilot, which is kind of exciting. And it was also interesting because for a day there, all the tweets stopped. But they're back up again. There was an issue with the Twitter tweets, but we fixed that, so that should be working for anyone now. Actually, the whole Twitter tweeting, social media posting system is a lot more robust with this update. It pays attention to character limits and doesn't throw out random characters and does more meaningful posts and things like that. So a lot of users are using it to grow their brand on autopilot, and it usually just one simple phrase to do that. So that should be easy for everyone to do. We've definitely hit our rate limit. So if you notice when you enter things now, suddenly it replies with nothing. That's hitting our rate limit with OpenAI. And for GPT-4, that is only 200 requests per minute, which means across our users, we are very quickly hitting our rate limit now. So we need to now implement a wait list. And it's well, I don't blame OpenAI actually, because they were very clear that GPT-4 is in beta and it's not production ready yet. So people are still just testing it, but we kind of need it. It's necessary for all the automations we're doing. So GPT 3.5, it was like a preview of what's possible. It made us believe what we're doing is possible, but 4 actually makes it possible. And 3.5 just kind of doesn't get there. So everyone, I would highly recommend applying to the GPT-4 API. However, the way things are going, and I've talked to some people who are in the industry, they're focusing now a lot, especially OpenAI, on reducing the costs of things to make things more scalable and accessible to everyone. And so I expect the cost to go drastically down by 10x or 100x and things like that over the next few months even. So I wouldn't really worry about that, except that starting probably next week, we're going to have to, even new subscribers will have to join a wait list to access the agent's dashboard. Also, we released a cool new scalable agents training framework, which is making it much easier for us to precisely train agents like employees. So previously, what we used to do is we had a dynamic system of providing context to Project Atlas based on previously saved code that had been guaranteed to work by previous agents. So it's kind of like this self-learning system across all users. However, that was only supplied at the prompt of the user. So there's another prompt at the system level that kind of allows you to control everything more robustly, more strongly, and it's sort of like the rules for the system. And we've never actually dynamically generated that before, but now we've built a system that dynamically alters the system prompt even on every request. And so it's more efficient. It gives us more context window to work with, but also it's less confused with like other agents like bleeding into each other and things like that. So now agents should be completely separate, and I'll explain how that stuff works. So that'll be kind of cool. Okay, so yeah, and the chart for today is we broke our prediction for the month. Okay, cool. So we have a new scalable framework, and I shared some of this in the Discord. But basically, when you run agents, you have options over other no-code agents, tools, and things like that. Oh yeah, this is a preview. Sorry, I shouldn't show that yet. Hold on. You have options to iterate them rather than just letting them run. So in most other tools, you just kind of have to let them run, and they just do their thing, and they fail, or they don't fail, or you have to give them like a different input initial condition, and those are the only inputs you have. Here, you can actually pause the agent while it's running or before it runs, and then you can edit the tasks. You also, in the latest update, it no longer like erases the task. That's kind of annoying. Sorry, that's my dog making weird noises. Nala, come here. Hey, bud. You're a good boy. Okay. Yeah, that's why. He's okay. Okay, sorry about that. He's a silly boy. So you can actually edit these tasks rather than just letting it run whatever it thinks it needs to run and failing. If it fails, you can tell it what failed and redo it, and it'll actually run what you want it to run. So if you think you know the solution to fixing something that fails in an agent in a task, you can actually directly edit it, or you can give it more context here, and then you can turn it on again and then run it again. And then that'll allow it to keep running. And then it itself will also regenerate tasks when they fail. So it'll also be able to do that. However, in the next update, we're going to add more fine-grained controls over the frequency of agents and the ability of you to control them, the number of times that they regenerate tasks. So in the next update, we're at least going to limit that so that it doesn't go on to infinity. There's going to be a default of 5 regenerations, but you can change that to however many as you want. Okay. So that should help you manage tasks and things like that. But the other cool thing about this is that, so we have options. So rather than just letting it run, you can edit the tasks directly. You can rearrange the priority. You can tell them to store things differently. You can tell them to have different goals and things like that. You can edit the input goal differently, and you can include solutions to roadblocks yourself. And all these roadblocks are basically like maybe things like it opens a Google Sheet, but it doesn't format it in the right way, or it doesn't scrape the data, or it gets to the LinkedIn page, but it doesn't click the send message button or something. You can actually explain to GPT-4 and Project Atlas in simple language what went wrong, and it'll retry in a meaningful way. And that seems to work way more often than not now, which is kind of exciting. And so you have 3 options. You can edit the tasks, like I mentioned here, directly. You can edit the input goal with solutions to roadblock more generally. And then when you do that, it'll regenerate these tasks based on that. So that's kind of another way to rely on the knowledge of the system itself to fix itself, basically. Or you can get more fine-grained. And if you think it's like stuck on one thing, it's just like maybe not clicking a button or sending something weird with an extra hashtag or something, just put it in here and it'll fix that. Or if you want to add like a URL to the output, put that in here and it'll actually add that to the output and stuff like that. So these are like more like employees than a tool, actually. So you can actually individually control them and things like that. Reorder priority, all that stuff is possible. So, okay. So the third option now is you can alert us when you run into roadblocks. So really, it's like we're training these agents like employees, but we all have the ability now to train our own agents, and users have deep industry insight and things that I have no idea about. And so you now have the ability to build your own meaningful agents by distilling your insight into these prompts and tasks and having them solve the roadblocks and build meaningful solutions to yourselves. And so let us know what roadblocks you run into. Like, try to solve your most valuable, difficult problems, the problems that you've been wanting to solve. And then let us know where it stops. because we now have a framework to infinitely train these employees to get past those roadblocks, and we just need someone to tell us what to do, because I know how to solve them. And you can see, like, the way we're teaching these agents to solve these roadblocks is just in a sentence, in simple language, if you look closely. So it's like if you hired someone, how you would train employees. You would teach them through examples, you would show them examples, and you tell them in simple language how to train them. So I think that's kind of cool and exciting, that it's actually like a natural language, kind of like training employees rather than writing code to build a tool, which means our community can help us build this. So I think very soon we might even set up a system to allow users to directly like teach agents that way. That would be exciting too. Okay, so please, if you get into any roadblocks, let us know what was successful, and then let us know what you were trying to do, and then what you think the roadblock is and how we might be able to solve it, and we'll try to train it in to that, train it into that specific employee for that specific use case. So that'll be kind of exciting. Okay, so this is a community effort. We're going to come up with incentives to incentivize users. Obviously, if you do publish cheat codes, we have incentives now. You get 1,000 cheat codes tasks for life. We're also working on paying users directly for sharing these discoveries and agents, because it's a community-based system now. You can actually instantly share all of these. Users can also share their cheat codes, and many users are discovering and sharing these in simple language, which is kind of exciting now. Okay, so that's our new agents training framework. So we launched the agents dashboard last week, and we only built it because it felt necessary when we were building our own sales agents to get them to work, because we wanted the ability to edit them and like fine-tune them and tweak them and stuff like that. And this is now finally possible. And so that's why we built this project management interface, because it seemed kind of intuitive to manage agents in parallel. However, agents are not people. Agents can do things people can't do. They can run completely much faster in parallel, 24/7. And so it should be that the features of this management dashboard shouldn't be equal to what a management dashboard for humans is ideal for humans. There's likely a path in development where we'll develop features that are unique to agents, managing agents in parallel. And for example, so we've added some of these features already just based on feedback from our launch of what users are telling us they need. And so if you need to manage agents like a team in parallel, but they can run unlimited times and quickly eat up all your tokens or tasks, then you're going to want to know how much, how many tasks they're using, which ones are possibly going rogue, which ones are regenerating tasks too many times and should be cut off because it doesn't look like they're succeeding and on like an impossible task. Sorry about that. My dog has some breathing issues. He's okay though. He's a baby. Or he still acts like a baby anyway. He's 9 years old. And then basically we've built these based on the feedback of just this last week from the launch. And we expect that continuing, iterating based on this launch feedback and feedback from users, we're going to follow a unique path in development for managing agents as easily as possible. So let us know. What do you think we should add next to make these agents easier to manage? So we're adding like real-time graphs already, and I'll show you how those work in a second to check all the task usage, which agents are regenerating too many tasks. We're also going to add sorry, I might have to check on him in a second. Okay, so we're also going to add more features for the agents themselves. So for things like Twilio, the ability to speak to the agents, to have them like maintain their, they'll maintain their own goals and work towards them, but also you can talk to them like they're a person, and they can give you updates on their progress like a person, and they can change their tasks meaningfully like you are hiring someone, and maybe even you would be able to contact them over a phone. That'd be kind of cool. So what are those cool things that you think we should add next that would make it easier for you to develop these agents, to launch these agents? And of course, we're releasing the valuable agents that we know that we're guaranteeing work. So you can instantly run those in the agent's dashboard. So, for example, there's a scientific research agent. We've released several product agents, and users have also now released agents. We're releasing these agents that I'm demoing today to all users today. So all users who have access to the agent's dashboard will be able to play around with these. And then you'll see that every week we'll continue to release more and more agents as we have time to distill our insight and teach users to distill their insight into agents, basically. Okay, so let me show you the new dashboard. Actually, I kind of hit it. So basically, as these run in real time, they no longer pop open the new window. I'm going to show you I'm going to run one of these agents anyway. It'll stick on this dashboard, but it'll update in real time their task usage in the background. So even if they are going wild in the background, you'll be able to see in real time what's happening here without refreshing the page and stuff like that. And then there'll also be a list maintained of the top agents that are consuming the most tasks. We're also sending you a hard and soft limit email notice, which is like the traditional way to do this when you reach a certain number of tasks. And all this stuff will continue to run even if you enter your own API key. So you can use this to monitor even your own API usage and stuff like that. So that'll be useful, I think. Next, we also plan to add, just like these graphs, these agents, they have the ability to build custom graphs, like D3.js graphs based on context, if necessary, if the output's necessary. Most of these outputs are like simple tables, probably downloading Excel files, maybe a download button or something. But under these agents, we plan to add another section for reports, custom reports generated by the agents for meaningful outputs. Because right now, the biggest feedback I have myself is that it's kind of hard for me to look at the outputs and like work with the outputs. I have to like click in here, copy it, and copy it somewhere else. So I'd like somewhere more meaningful to work with the outputs. Maybe somewhere even I can like edit things and stuff like that. So that would be cool. Okay. So please let us know, give us feedback, what things we should add, what next features you want the agents, what roadblocks they run into. It currently doesn't send Twilio text messages, but we're planning to add that as well. Okay. And then, so today we're releasing a new Android app agent. It was built by David on our office hours staff. Our office hours staff of engineers, if you're new and don't know, they're a staff of expert software engineers who can build any automation if you don't have time to build them yourselves. And we don't make a profit. We actually pay the engineers more than the calendar itself charges. So it's more a service to the community and for businesses who don't have time to hire someone or build something themselves. However, you can also still go to the meeting and give them feedback and learn from it, and a lot of users enjoy that. So David came up with this one. It's an Android app generator. And we did one, we tested this in our last all hands meeting, and it did something cool where we did this for like a simple template basically to show you how you can extend this. And so we added like a button that played a sound and created an Android app. When you play the sound, it actually plays the sound. Yeah. But it went and did something interesting. It went and downloaded the stock sound for the app, and I didn't know that it actually was capable of doing that, and it named it correctly to work in the app, and so that was kind of cool. So David's created this agent, and he's published it to the list of agents, and you can try this, but you need the next update 7.0.0 probably for all these features that I'm sharing today, except for maybe, yeah, all the graphs and everything you guys don't have access to. I'll be clear if you guys have access to anything when I'm talking about it. So yeah, let me just quickly explain. So the Android app agent is basically an extension of the version in Project Atlas where you can build anything, any sort of tool or website that you want. So you can say things like build. Everyone has access to this, even free accounts. You can say build a simple landing page. And it builds your website, but even functional tools, apps, games, 2D games, 3D games, because it has access to all those libraries. So users have built things like mortgage calculators or interactive quizzes or product description generators that actually even use OpenAI as the API. And it actually works. And you could tell it how to build the things, and it'll iteratively build the product for you. So you can see the result. And if you want something else, like a different section or a different font colors or styles or things like that. Instead of editing it yourself, you can just tell it what you want in simple language, just like you had hired someone and you were chatting with them on like Upwork or something. So when this finishes, I can add another section. So the Android app agents, the software developer agents that we're releasing, take that a step further, and they allow you to build entire Android apps, iOS apps, not just the website, but also the back end. We did an example we did a few examples in our last 2 meetups. We did a Chrome extension and then a web app that did a joke generator using GPT-3. So you can build chat GPT powered products, marketplaces, cryptocurrencies. It's basically like a software engineer in your pocket. And we're slowly building up the framework to increase the complexity of what they can build. And so all users should have access to this. You can try it out. This is the template version. So add on what features you want. They might not work the first time. They might get stuck, but it's a trial and error process. Let us know what the roadblocks are, or even try to solve the roadblocks yourself by editing the tasks and telling it what went wrong and things like that. So, for example, if it does, like it downloads, like, or if it makes all this font hard to read, I would make the font bigger or something. Or yeah, you can move the size of the button, add like a background image, give it more functionality, maybe add a menu, things like that. It knows how to do all these things. You just have to tell it what to do, basically. And since it can split it up into many unlimited tasks, basically, we've only seen maybe up to 10 so far, but it's possible for super complex projects to continue splitting it. And so that would be interesting to see some super complex projects. Okay. So next we'll also release an iOS app, and this was just easier because David has access to the Android App Studio. And the other exciting thing we're going to demo today is the autonomous sales agent. So we've actually been working on this for months, and it's an upgrade of the sales automation webinar that you can already do with CheatLayer that allows you to automate your sales team using cold outbound outreach. However, the outbound is not personalized. It's always the same. Well, you can A/B test, but we use Apollo.io. So if you guys know what that is, it sends cold email outreach with A/B tested emails, but they're not personalized to the person. And there are some other tools now that are sort of starting to come out with like personalized outbound for sales using GPT-3, because GPT-3 now exists and is widely available and things like that. So we're building something unique, and I'm going to demo it today, where it scours websites, or any website that you give it, like LinkedIn, GitHub, or wherever you build your lead generation pipeline, and it looks for people within your target persona, and starts conversations with them, personalized conversations, not the same cold outbound outreach that you get from most email transactional services, but a personalized message based on their profile, based on the surrounding, based on the website, or whatever you want to relate to them with. And then it maintains that conversation with them towards a certain goal. So, for example, like a sale or sending them to a link or a demo. And it's able to do this in like hundreds of people in parallel because it's an autonomous AI sales agent. So it's a scalable AI sales team, which is very exciting for us. It's not able to do the demos themselves yet, but it's probably able to significantly upgrade generating those demos. And so I'm going to show you the 2 sales agents we're releasing. And basically, in order to get this to work, we have to set up significant cool infrastructure. But we're storing these conversations in Supabase as a CRM. And that allows, like I was alluding to earlier, going down this path in development, we're probably just going to discover new things we're just going to have to invent, like project management interface for agents, just to make it possible and easy. And so this is a new thing that just makes it possible and easy to allow agents to maintain conversations in parallel at scale. And so that's going to be an interesting thing. We're testing that. So, so far we haven't tested really more than like a few hundred in parallel, but you'll see what I'm talking about. It's scary because this is the only agent that acts completely on your behalf, on your business's behalf, without a human in the loop, in real time, 24/7. And we've been running it and sending it, and it's working. It's sending people who are interested in us, and like setting up meetings and things like that. So it's crazy. So it's we're anxious but also excited to launch this, and we're going to be releasing it in stages basically. So the agents we've released today, you can see that we have some limits. They're not going to send the message, they'll write the message. To send the message, you can tell it to send the message, and it'll actually send the message. So just so we don't mess anything up right now. So just so we have the liability, because these can actually do anything. They can say anything. We've tested it extensively for the last few weeks, and they kind of don't go crazy right now, but technically they can do anything. So please be careful with that warning. Test them with the understanding that this is a beta, but if this is interesting to you, you can like test it on like dummy sales copy, or like it's pretty easy, I think, if you already do sales, to get just test like it on a certain number, a percentage of your traffic, just to see if it does anything. And that's kind of exciting. Yeah, you can even have them send like links to your demo if the other person is interested in a demo, so they can maintain the conversation until the person is interested in a demo, then send a link to your demo. I think that was kind of cool. All right, so I just want to show you that you guys have that. Everyone who has access to the agents dashboard now has access to this Android app agent and 2 autonomous sales agents that I'm releasing today. And then over the next few weeks, we're just going to keep releasing more sales agents, more complex and robust sales agents and things like that. And as well, this vector database. So we're setting it up such that each user like maintains their own. I think that's probably the best way to do it, so that you can have separate data storages for your own copy, and then so that if your own agent could actually get very good at sales and improve itself through iterating and figuring out which conversations worked to a demo. And so you could tell it to actually store the copy that worked, just like we store the code that worked, in that same vector database. I think that's what we should do next, just like we're doing for the software developer agents. I think we should do that next here, because it gives us this path to iterate these agents, like actually the value of these agents, but also in a statistically significant way that you can't do overnight. Like, to get good converting copy, you have to run these things over at least 2 weeks. You have to test over a lot of traffic to A/B test and know that it's actually good converting copy. You need enough traffic to be able to say that. So it's not something you can do overnight, and it takes time to iterate and get better. So every 2 weeks we do this. It should be getting better. It should be getting better at high converting sales, storing that copy, maintaining hundreds of conversations for you. That's going to be really exciting. And possibly use up a lot of tasks. So I highly recommend getting your own API key. But if you do sales, and if you have like positive ROI on sales, this is like probably a fraction of the cost of a sales team. Like not like a fraction of the cost of a sales team. It's like a cents per conversation rather than So, but it's not that I think it's not replacing the sales team. It's just letting them focus on actually the hard stuff that we can't automate yet, like due diligence, analysis, meeting the customer, closing deals, like doing the actual demo, basically. So you'll just get more of that, I think. So that's going to be very exciting. Okay, yeah. And this was the other cool... so every week, I want to share like cheat codes that we discover in the community and with Project Atlas. So this is just something else I noticed. A user had asked how we can scrape a table on a website, but this actually works on any website. So on every single website, you can say, scrape the table from this page to Google Sheet, or scrape the images, the videos, the links, the metadata, the emails, the HTML, the phone number, probably a few other things too. But that's you can say that on any random website. And if you say on this page, it'll give it the context of that website and do it and set it up for you. The other way to do this is you can give it a specific URL and say, go to this URL and scrape all the tables, images, videos, links, emails, phone numbers, metadata, and that all works too. And it does tables in an interesting way. It actually structures it by the rows and cells and stuff like that. So that's kind of useful. Oh yeah, that reminds me of there used to be an old Pabbly trick that you could send entire rows and it would save you time. Anyways, that's kind of cool. So let me just go over a few quick demos to show off the new agents dashboard. So yeah, up here while agents are running in parallel, in the next update you'll have a real-time view into their tasks and things like that. And I've also been publishing some agents down here that you can try. And later today we'll publish the Android app agent and two more sales agents that actually do one that sends the messages, and then another one that scrapes the messages to Google Sheets, just so you can have that. Just there's some variations of things you can try basically. Okay, cool. So one of these, I'm gonna do the GitHub one first. So this is a sales agent. Let me turn it on. That will. So I asked it to search GitHub for users who are interested in ChatGPT, find their profiles, and then if they have emails, send them personalized emails as an introduction based on our mutual interest in ChatGPT. And so GitHub has users and a search that basically allows you to search all these users very easily. And more often than LinkedIn, users tend to put their emails in their GitHub profiles. And so it's very easy to find other software developers, startup engineers, startup founders through GitHub more easily, I think, than LinkedIn. And so you can maintain, and since they have an email, you can figure out what they're interested in through their GitHub repos. Whoa, it's gonna go crazy here. Okay, I'm gonna close all these to the right. Okay, you can see that it opened up all these GitHub repos, but GitHub profiles. But what it's doing now, it's actually scraping these emails for all these people. Oh, I should have let it run actually. Okay, well it's gonna get some of these. Hold on, let me run it again. Let me run it again. This one actually takes a while though, so I'm gonna go on to the next one probably. But this one takes like an hour to run this whole agent to go through the whole process, because what it does is it finds all those LinkedIn profiles, opens them in a new tab one by one. That time it actually just did it all at once, so that was interesting. And then scrapes their emails, generates a personalized message, and then it sends them the actual emails and messages, and that's kind of cool. Okay, so let me just carefully run this one again. What I want to be careful of is that since we're near the OpenAI rate limit, even me just doing this like causes issues. So, okay, so what it's doing here is it's getting all the users. You can tell it to do whatever search or whatever you want, or send whatever message you want and things like that. I also tested this works on LinkedIn. That was interesting. Not LinkedIn, sorry. Instagram. Okay, so it got their profiles, I think. Yeah, see, it got their profiles. So it scraped all their profiles on GitHub. Now it's gonna open their profiles in new tabs to scrape their emails one by one, I think. Hopefully. No, it did them all at once. Okay, I'm gonna close some of these so I don't kill our rate limit and let some of these run. Okay, cool. Yeah. That should be enough. Okay, so you can see what they're doing now. In parallel, it's getting all their emails, the ones that have emails. But you can see GitHub users more often have emails, actually. Oh, and I'm hitting the issue of the rate limit on some of these. Okay. All right, now I got the emails, and now it's going to generalize. Now it's going to generate personalized emails. This whole process takes a while, so I don't know if I have time. Oh, actually, I have time. I'll let this run for a while. It's generating a personalized email based on our mutual interest in ChatGPT. That's kind of cool. And then let's see what it got here. Oh, here are the personalized messages. Okay, let's look like that's done. Now it's on this step. Okay, so this step, store the personalized. Oh, it's generating personalized messages. Okay, you got all the emails. Oh yeah, and then the last step, it actually generates the messages and sends them. Okay, I'm just gonna pause this so I can run the next one. Okay, so The next one, let me show you this one. So this was the Android app agent that David built. Okay. Let me see if I can find the prompt. What's the prompt? Okay, create a simple Android app that emits a sound when you click a button. And this is, of course, just a template, just to show you what's possible. But then you can now extend this with more features, and we're going to extend this with more features as well. Let's see if I can skip ahead. Oh yeah, he installs Android Studio. All right, and then he installs it in Android Studio. So he copies all the files that were downloaded into Android Studio. And then as soon as you load it, you can see a preview of the app. That's kind of cool. It's a simple app, though. It just like generated lorem ipsum and a button. But presumably, oh, there's an email button there too. Interesting. Presumably, it also hits a sound. That's what it did when we generated it. Okay. Yeah, there's a media player. Oh, yeah, it plays a sound. Cool. So I think he's just compiling it with his simulator now. So what he did was he generated it using Project Atlas, which started at minute 1. And now at minute 2, he's loading it into the Android Studio. So he didn't write any of that code. I mean, this is still a little bit technical. I think what we can do is take this a step further, where once it's generated code, when we get to Project Atlas Desktop, you can actually compile the code into an APK or an iOS app that you can load directly into your Android and stuff like that, because we have access to running stuff on the desktop level. We need desktop anyway to solve all the roadblocks in the order of operations, so we're going to release it anyway, but I think we'll have to wait until then to do that. So what is he doing here? Okay, he's just running it. Okay, you get the idea. Oh, I think he was explaining it. My bad. Sorry. Okay. I'm going to go back to mine. So, let's do the LinkedIn agent. That's kind of cool. Okay, let's do the LinkedIn agent. Let's see. Okay. So this LinkedIn agent searches for users who are interested in ChatGPT and sends them a personalized message. And here it goes. Okay. So it's searching for LinkedIn. It searched for ChatGPT. Now it's finding the users. Okay, it got those profiles. Let me check the agent. Or presumably. Oh, there. The profile links are there. And then now it's going to create a worker to go to each profile, LinkedIn profile, and then send them a personalized message, basically. Yeah. It's interesting that it does it differently, even though we're at a temperature of 0. Okay, I'm not going to let all these run, but let me close all these so you can see what it does on maybe one of these. Cool. Let me have a backup there. Okay, so it's generating code. It opened up all those LinkedIn profiles in parallel. And you can kind of see how it can open up like hundreds of tabs per user in about a minute. And we have a rate limit of 200 per minute. So we're playing a dangerous game with our OpenAI rate limit. But it's exciting because we're on the bleeding edge. Okay, cool. So it figured out, it opened the profile. It's now generating a personalized message. me run that again. Oh no, I can't refresh it. One sec. Okay. I think I clicked it accidentally, sorry. Okay. Okay, so in this step is getting the profile links from LinkedIn. What I asked it to do is find people who are interested in ChatGPT and send them a personalized message. All right, and then this step, it's doing the crazy thing where it's going to go to all the profiles. And let me close all these. Generate a simple intro message based on a mutual interest in ChatGPT. Yeah, that's right. I seem to be hitting my rate limit probably. Oh, no, I disabled the messages. Okay. We'll get as far as sending the message. But it won't actually send the message in this one. Okay, I understand. Okay. But I have a screenshot, I think, where I did actually send the message. Okay, I have that version. Okay, I didn't publish that version yet. Okay, I'll publish that version later today. This version doesn't actually send the message. It just gets this far and generates it. And it should at least print it, though. Hold on, let me see. I think it prints it. Did I publish? Let me try the other one. Post an app. Yeah, that one. I can let more profiles run, maybe. Let's see. Oh, yeah, I did disable sending the message in this one. Okay, so in this one, it'll just generate the message, but it won't send it. And then in the next one, it'll actually send the messages because we were worried about publishing something that sends messages and things like that. So yeah, I'll just run this one more time just so you can see what it's doing. I just finished it. I think I just finished this task. Okay. And maybe I'll just let it run this time and see. Oh, no, that's probably the reason it's stopping as well, because it's hitting the rate limit. Maybe I should be more proactive. Let me see. Oops, that was not good. Okay. Oh, these are different people. That's interesting. Yeah, I'm hitting my rate limit. It might be because people are also trying it at the same time. I can try it one more time. Maybe. Let's see. Okay. 5th time's a charm. Let's enable it. I think I just have to be faster. Fascinating. Okay. It looks like we hit our rate limit, probably. All right. I'll release one that actually sends messages later today, probably, so everyone isn't trying it at the same time, maybe. But it should at least, for this one, it should at least type the message. It shouldn't, it just won't send the message. So I think we're just hitting the rate limit with the second call to GPT-3. We'll just have to slow down up for that. There's no solution for that right now. Well, the solution is to add a wait list to GPT-4 access and things like that. So you guys can try this now, and you can try it with different different goals and personas and things like that, and see how that works. And we'll release them with increasing risk and complexity, just because things like this happen where we're probably hitting our rate limit now if like a few people are trying it at home maybe and things like that. So it'll cause issues for all users unless we fix that soon. Okay, so stay tuned for the next update. It should go live by tomorrow, and you guys won't be able to run any of these until you get that update anyway. So it's 7.0.0, and you'll get access to all the new monitoring tricks to keep track of your agents, and then deploy these new software developer agent and the sales autonomous agents. Okay, and then remember that if they run into any roadblocks, let us know what the roadblocks are to help us train these agents like employees. All right, guys, see you next week. Thank you.